So, I want to talk about trusting your instinct and acting on your intuition for divine guidance. So, what I'm realizing more and more is that as I act on my intuition and as I do the things, as I follow my nose and as I do the things that I feel like I am led to do or I'm compelled to do, um, for reasons that are beyond me. If I try to sit down and think about them with my mind, I might decide to do something different. But I really am learning not to go against myself, to kind of flow with my intuition. It's kind of like following your nose and trusting that you are divinely guided and that you are always in the place that you need to be. And I can give some examples of this. For instance, while I'm making this specific video right now that I'm making, I have set aside this day I'm working on my site. I need to get my site. I want to get my site along further so that I can, have it up in the air, um, to form some kind of more income. And and to have a place where I can put all of my, gather all of the things that I do together into one place so that it will be more apparent for me as well as for, where a place where I can send, people that I meet, I can say, well, go and visit my site and you can see what I do instead of starting a big, it has everything combined. And I've been feeling compelled to, for instance, make this video. I'm sitting here in my pajama and I'm starting to learn how to just go with it, go with the flow, go with the flow. If I have an impulse to do something or a calling to do something, it doesn't mean that I need to like completely be out of control of my life. But if I have this calling to do something, then to act on it while, it goes back to Mel Robbins' book, The 5 Second Rule. When you feel compelled, like this compelling urge to do something, then do it. Do it while the inspiration is there. If you write it down, I've noticed, for years and years and years, I've walked around with notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of all sorts of writings that I've had. I have boxes and boxes of writing. Of things that are similar to what I'm putting into the videos now, just concepts, and it takes a lot longer to write it down than just to make a video of it and share it with the world. And I was always gathering this information, gathering it, gathering it. It's like everything was coming together. And that's kind of like trusting in the divine for things that when they come together and when they become relevant, they bring themselves forth automatically. So I had been writing and writing and writing for years and years and years. And at some point I said, okay, well, I'm going to start putting this into the computer. I'm going to make a book of it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Whereas when you just act on your intuition by starting to make these videos, it's so much quicker for me to, allow whatever wants to flow through me just to flow through me and to put it out into the world. And then it's not like sitting in, those boxes and boxes of notebooks have been sitting on me for years. It's like, I have to get that out. I have to do this. And it was heavy on me. And when you act on your inspiration, you just do it. It's like the 5 second rule: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. And when you do it, it's already done. You can just kind of, it's like your life begins to just flow. It's like as you have the thought, it's not weighing you down. You're not putting more and more things on your plate, not more and more things on your shelf of I need to do this someday. You walk by the dishes and there's a few dishes, you do the dishes. It doesn't add up. And it's kind of like trusting your intuition, just following your nose and trusting that your nose, if you allow yourself to follow your intuition and follow your nose, it is going to lead you to where you need to be. So there's all these layers of junk that we built on ourselves and that we're going through and that we're sorting through, and that is all part of this process of the spiritual awakening. But there also is the part where you just start following your nose, because your nose knows where to lead you. Your intuitions want to go down into the places that suit your soul the most. That's your soul speaking to you from within and trying to guide you. Hey, look over here. This is what you enjoy doing. And being in the places that you enjoy, you do have to differentiate, because there are superficial things. There are things that come to, like come to that are enjoyment. For instance, addictions or habits are things that you enjoy because they take you away from having to deal with your things. So you really have to pay attention to what is coming up. But if you have an intuition, follow it. So, for instance, another example of that, yesterday, my twin wrote to me something about a discussion that we had had the day before. I saw him by chance on Friday, and then I saw him again yesterday. And he wrote me something, and I could hear that he was driving. So, my impulse was to ask him, "Where are you going?" And I also, talk about the subject matter. We were talking about when we were at the spring the day before, we were talking about demonic creatures and all sorts of interesting things like that, and some things started opening up for him that were connected to the conversation. So he sent me a text message or a voice message telling me about what had opened up, and it's really exciting. I have all these different places in my life that are taking off that are like super exciting. Talking about the red dragon, and and so I that was exciting. And then I asked him, "Where are you going?" And he told me to the hot springs. And my instant want was like, "I want to go." And I didn't question myself. Oh, should you go? You're running after him. What about your pride? What about your ego? What about this? I wanted to go. I went and got dressed, and I went down to my car. I sent him a message. I'm on my way. And I am really, really happy that I did that. I followed my nose, and I feel like it enriched my life because I did get to see him. I got to see him for, probably about an hour, something like that, that we had time together. And we got to discuss the red dragon subject, which is super interesting. But it's a different subject altogether, and I'm still learning about it myself. So it's not something that I feel like I am ready to open up and talk about. But you can look up the red dragon and black magic. So so we had a really important discussion about that really enlightened me in the subject, and also, it started moving and giving me insight and inspiring me, the conversation inspiring me. And I'm sure that a lot of the things that are coming up now in me are excitement because of that. And so when you follow your nose, it leads you into the right places of being, and one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Whereas I've already decided in my life now, I don't go against myself. If there's some kind of impulse that I really want to do, I'm not going to sit there and start, I do it. As long as it's not something that harms other people or something that I can do, using, of course, judgment. You have to use judgment. But if it is something like just getting in my car and going, or if it is grabbing my phone and making a video about following your nose when I'm following my nose as an example of it, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow my intuition. There is a reason why things come up. There is a reason why things are relevant to you. There is a reason why I am doing this video. It's something that is coming up within me. And if it's coming up within me, that means that it's coming up within millions of other people around the world as well. And that even just doing this video, it can give them some kind of legitimacy within themselves, or some kind of look at this subject, or some kind of enlightenment, or some kind of expression of themselves. And so there is always a reason for everything. And so I'm really just the subject matter is learning how to follow your nose and your intuition, and doing it while it's relevant. If you just write it in the notebook, and that's what I started saying, if you just write it in the notebook, it could sit dormant for years and years and years, and then it starts weighing on you and weighing on you and weighing on you. Whereas if you just do it, just do it. Just do it. Do it as it comes up. Do it as it comes up. First of all, you're living light because you're living fluid and you have action within your life. And you're not saving things from the past to, at some point I was saving all of these projects. I had now I live a very light life, but more light, I should say. But I had been saving all these art projects that one day I'm going to do, one day I'm going to do. And what I realized is that I'm always full of ideas of art projects. And so if I have an art project that I want to do, I need to just do it, not save it and boggle down my future. It's like taking a loan from the past and selling your future to pay off that loan. It's like, okay, I have all of these art projects that are weighing on me that one day I'm going to do. Yeah, not that I'm saying that not to dismiss everything. Sometimes you just need to wait for the right timing to do something. There are a few art projects that I really want to do and that someday I'm going to do, hopefully. But they're really good ideas and it's something that I do want to accomplish. Um, but just weighing myself down with hundreds of art projects that one day I'm going to do, when in every single moment I have independent inspiration, and power of creation. So it's kind of like giving yourself a debt from the past into the future. It's kind of like selling your future before it's there, or allowing the past to weigh down your experience instead of just being naturally flowing through your life. And as things come up onto your plate, taking care of them and putting them, and having that accomplished. Um, so really, it's learning how to follow your nose and follow your intuition, and trusting that it is going to lead you into the right places, and show you where you need to be. And that is a way that it allows you to come back to when you follow your intuition, you come into yourself. It leads you to the places that you like to be, that your soul wants to be. So on the spiritual awakening, there's also the sorting. You sort through yourself and kind of overcome all of the stuff that you've accumulated, but at the same time you also have to let yourself be free, allow yourself to flow naturally into where you need to be and to where your soul wants to be. And when you start just allowing yourself to flow, you see that you naturally start flowing into the places that are naturally in sync with your true being. So there's the two parts of it: the sorting through and overcoming, and the allowing yourself to flow into yourself. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.